Josh Gad and Andrew Rannells are reuniting on Broadway this fall. The original co-stars of the Book of Mormon headed back to the boards in another hilarious new musical comedy, Gutenberg. Paul's here now with the story.
That's right, Tamsen. The popular pair is back together on stage. I sat down with them in the rehearsal room to find out more. Look at you.
Oh,
2x2, ready for another mission.
2x2, we're going back to Broadway.
Can't afford that.
You and me, hey, yeah.
So since Mormon, we've enjoyed Andrew in Hedwig, Hamilton, falsettos.
Boys in the Band.
The Boys in the Band.
Yes.
Josh, you not so much. Something we said, or?
Well, what happened was offers dried up pretty quick.
There was also, let's be clear, there was a restraining order. Broadway,
Broadway
had a
in
restraining
totality
order?
put a restraining order out against me.
No.
They said this doesn't fit with what we do.
But now look at him. He's back in New York.
But now I'm back. I said I wanted to go back to Broadway when I had early onset arthritis.
Right.
And I wanted it to be the kind of challenge where I can barely get through a show. So I waited for the opportune time for my body to start failing me. And then I said, now it feels like a right time.
Yeah.
42 feels like the right time to dance for 2.5 hours.
Obviously, people would have thrown a lot of money at you to do The Producers, The Odd Couple.
I tried to throw a lot of
come
money.
up with other shows.
I tried to throw a lot of money at Andrew to do The Producers as a one-man show. He said no.
I said no, thank you. It was in his backyard, and the dates didn't work.
Yeah.
But Gutenberg, exclamation point, the
Still think
musical.
it could work. We have that.
Yes.
So obviously we all love Stu Gutenberg, obviously. So
Obviously.
that's the reason.
And obviously the show has nothing to do with it. So
Nothing.
Johans, is that how you say it? Gutenberg.
Johann.
Singular.
Johann, silent
The
S.
S and the Steve are silent.
This guy
Yes.
allegedly invented
Yes.
the printing press and
Allegedly.
movable
I
type.
didn't know that there was controversy
there
around
I mean, he
it.
really did. But actually, the show deals in a lot of falsehoods about
Speculation.
Speculation.
He did create the printing press, but then for some reason, kind of got it taken away from him.
Yeah.
And for a long time did not get credit for doing anything. And I don't know what he did with that money, but hard to say. But he, for a long time, didn't really get the credit he deserved. And that's why we wanted to do this show.
Yeah, we wanted to bring his legacy back to light in the same way that Alexander Hamilton had his second.
Had a moment. Yeah.
To teach people that he wasn't a president.
And so we want Gutenberg to have the same sort of Lin-Manuel Miranda style halo effect. Now, it's not going to happen with our show, but we want that. We want this to be the start of him reclaiming his.
Yeah. We're just proud to be a little part of it.
All joking aside, take it easy. Be serious for a second. This is a real interview.
Okay.
We had been looking, searching, exploring for over a decade for the right vehicle
reunion.
to bring us back together. Andrew went off and he's like, I'll just do one a season. And I was like, no. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to find the right thing. And then Alex Timbers and I had been talking about doing a funny thing happened on the way to the Forum. And you and Timbers were talking about something which you've never told me what it was.
I'll tell you later.
He might still do it.
I mean, I'm very open about my thing.
Wow.
And then Alex sort of evilly but brilliantly kind of put us both to flop this script in front of us and was like, while we're exploring these other things, what would you think about this thing called Gutenberg?
It did seem like Alex really, I think, Alex is
Who's Alex?
brilliant. He's the director.
Oh.
Tall guy.
He did it originally off Broadway.
Yes,
2006.
and he had this idea really for the, and presented it to both of us in a very sort of casual, why don't we just sit down?
Like, this is the only thing I'll do with you guys.
Basically, but he was like, we'll give it a read. We'll learn some music, so we got together in March of 2020.
Really fateful.
2020. That was a big month.
Yeah, huge month.
And we did a reading.
We did a reading, and I remember they flew in from New York, and I said, "You guys been hearing about this?"
Yeah,
this
he did.
COVID thing, literally.
Josh's
and everybody
really
was like, "Oh,
saved
Josh, you hypochondriac." I was like, "No, this seems bad." And then everybody left, and we were like, "Let's do the show." And then the whole world shut down.
So, but
Yeah.
now, a few
But
years
now,
later,
here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are. We got back on track.
This show is set at a backers audition.
Yes.
Right? Now, for a lot of the people at home who maybe don't have any idea what a backers audition is, a very industry term.
It
Yes.
How desperate can these things be?
Oh, they
and
can
what
be-
are they?
They can be pretty desperate.
So you backers audition is, you know, when you present your show to a group of producers
To get
hopefully-
money.
to get money to
Yeah.
move your show.
We did one with the
forward.
Book of Mormon.
You did one with
You
the
did.
yes.
So did
I
you.
mean,
Why are you
I've done.
pointing at me. You did one too.
Well, by the time I joined, I think that financing.
That is a lie.
Was it?
Unless they told me something different.
But I have done in my career
Sure.
many,
Yeah.
and they can get very sweaty.
These
And
guys are
that's
dreamers,
what
though.
Bud and Doug.
These guys are
up to.
dreamers, and they're not gonna let a couple of backers tell them no. And so
So they've taken matters into their,
to their own hand,
hands
they've rented a Broadway theater for one night.
for one night only.
They've spent all their money.
That's a different plot from the original, because that
That
was
is
off
it.
Broadway.
Yes, that
Yes,
is a
yes,
different,
different plot.
The show is it has been around for some time, but
Yeah.
this is our
the Broadway
Scott
debut?
Brown and Anthony King. Yes,
Yes,
are
we're brilliant.
making a lot of changes to the
Cool.
show. So if you
Even if
have
you've seen it
Gutenberg,
before,
yes,
yeah,
it'll be
it's gonna
a little
it's gonna feel
different.
brand new. It's gonna feel like a new experience.
Now, I apologize, but you wear a lot of hats in the show.
Hey!
The two songwriters, you're playing the guys who wrote the show.
Yes.
And you're playing every character.
Talk about spoilers.
Any favorite of these hats, or some inappropriate characters?
My
Any
favorite is-
Helvetica's my favorite. That's a character.
Helvetica's a great one.
My favorite is the one I take off last when I know the show's over and I can wipe the copious amounts of sweat off my face.
You can lay down.
I do like Another Woman.
Another Woman's
and
great.
Woman.
Another
Another Woman
Woman.
is great.
Yeah, my most formulated character so far is Drunk Number One. It's a character I've been building towards my entire life.
Right. It's
And it's
Typecast.
yeah, and it was the one I did the most research for.
You're nailing it, Bud.
Thank you. Bud.
Bud. I'm real method.
you play Bud and Doug.
Yes.
And I've seen them referred to as bravely untalented, which is a great description.
Yeah, it's a lovely description.
It's not the first time we've been called that.
No. I, as Josh Gad, have been called bravely untalented
Yeah.
most of my career.
Or wildly.
Wildly
Untalented.
Wildly untalented.
I'm sure every year you get together and on the anniversary of the Book of Mormon opening 12 years ago. And you
Yes,
think-
we're like the 72 Miami Dolphins. We pop champagne. Yeah.
What do you think when you think about that time? Because like I said, you really were both just like ripe for an opportunity like that.
Yeah.
And it was explosive watching you come together on that stage in
Thank
that
you.
show.
Thank you. I mean, we still are on a, 12 years later, still on a text chain with that entire cast that we keep alive on a regular basis. So truly, like on the anniversary of the opening or, like we all do still keep in touch with each other.
I don't think, or at least I didn't expect it to be what it became. I honestly was like, okay, this show's gonna run for 3 months. A bunch of South Park fans are gonna love
Yeah.
it, and we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
close. And so like
It
when
did feel like a gamble.
it
did feel
felt
like
like a
a
gamble,
yeah.
and what was so beautiful about it was that lack of expectation. So the gift of the reception was something that we all went through together, and I think we were all so humbled by, except for Andrew, who's a real character.
Yeah. Loose
And
cannon.
his head got pretty wildly big.
Are you looking forward to canceling each other out for this year's Tony Award races?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
sweet.
we sort of, our approach is we're never going to win a Tony because we always want to harm the other person's chances.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's sort of like
No,
mutual, what do they call it? Mutual annihilation pact?
Sure. I was thinking more that we could do the Emily Skinner, Alice Ripley.
Yes.
Oh, you want it
all for
combined.
one,
Can't
one
we
for
just
all.
do a twofer?
You've
wanna
heard it
join
now.
it?
Gad
No.
Knowles,
We haven't done that in a while.
Tony nominated Gad Knowles 2024. We're either going to lose this thing together, which is most likely, or we're going to win this thing together.
Look, it's an honor to be eligible,
yes.
is all I can say.